Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Network Hot Take. Now, you might be asking yourself, Trio, what the hell is a hot take? Well, it's when a few guys sit down in a basement, we talk about a movie, TV show, or video game, give our thoughts, give our opinions. Today, we are discussing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Join me today, Matt Penza. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. So, we're talking a little Assassin's Creed today. We haven't, unfortunately, finished the game.
No.
Because it's so goddamn meaty. Like, it is. How big do you think the map is? Like, I can't even describe it. I'm only through half the map, I think.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat too. I'm probably through half the map. It's huge.
Dude, it's gigantic. And one thing I like is that obviously they brought the ship combat back in this. But like whereas in Black Flag it was all these little islands, like you have instead in this you have this big landmass that you can kind of explore. I almost forget I have a ship sometimes, and it's like, oh, I can go back to my ship, sail around to the islands. But yeah, dude, it's big. Do you think it's almost too big, or do you like the size?
No, I like the size. It's definitely. I would say I'm surprised that we do have such a big map for an Assassin's Creed game, and I guess like them going full RPG, like all in, it makes sense. It's cool to see.
No, it is, and I mean it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it is great freaking looking setting. I was afraid it was going to be too samey to like Egypt and stuff like that, but I really do think it's like there's similar architecture and stuff like that. Obviously, you see in Alexandria, but like it's definitely its own setting where like you got these lush beaches, this greenery, all that type of stuff, and the Greek like Athens is cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, so like just seeing all of you go to Athens, you go to different parts of like ancient Greece is pretty cool to see.
Dude, it is, and I mean even just being out on the ocean and just like seeing the line of the sea and just the sun beating down, it's awesome. And so you chose Alexios, right, to play. So I went with Cassandra, so we got a little bit of a different thing. There's the major switch I like about this. We will get into light spoiler territory. Is that their roles were kind of reversed depending on who you choose, right? So if you're Cassandra, Alexios is Cassandra Demos? Is that her name?
Yeah,
that is her name still. In that, okay. So
is he Demos?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it's funny, like so he shows up at the one point. I'm like, is that Alexios? Like I was
That's
like,
what
it
I
definitely
thought.
looks.
I was like, it has to be.
Yeah.
First.
And I thought that was an interesting choice. What did you think about them giving you like that choice to choose who you want to play as? And like, I mean, I know a lot of people aren't the biggest fan of these RPG elements being added in to the game, but I think it gives you a lot more agency and a lot more, I don't know, investment into like who you're picking.
I mean, I liked it a lot. I think they didn't go too far with like, your own decisions, stuff like that.
Like character creation and all that type of stuff.
You can mold your own story, but there was an overall, you're still playing, you're still following Assassin's Creed story.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed. I think like the next step for them is even more customization, I bet.
Well, and it's funny, they tried more customization type stuff in Unity. When we would do we have Gooch waving in. What's up, Gooch?
I don't mean to interrupt. So there's a big reason why I didn't get this game, as some people, if you follow me on Twitter or anything, might know about.
Did you know that? I had no idea.
Push the
this.
Yeah, there you go. Not too much.
What's that?
Okay, cool. Yeah, but one of the big things when this game was first announced that I didn't like was the fact that you could pick two characters, and in my eyes, from the past games, with Altair, Ezio, Connor, Black Flag guy, Edward Kenway. It kind of takes like the fact that you're playing like some like legendary hero from the Assassins like order away from you, and it kind of like uncanonizes your
like
choice because obviously going forward you're never going to hear about this character from this game because they can't account for the fact that you chose one or the other. So in my opinion, it kind of like lessens the narrative of the whole story just because you're not making somebody from scratch, but you're either one person or the other, and whatever you do, it doesn't matter because you have an option.
Yeah, that actually makes total sense, and I do agree with you that that can kind of take you out of it. But the way I feel like they easily resolve that in this is you just you just make one of the stories canon, where either you choose the one where Cassandra's the good one, and then that's the canon, and Deimos is Alexios. Because overall, I do think you're playing as the same. You have the same character traits, I think, basically, no matter if you choose Cassandra.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, depending on, obviously, how you play. If you play more, like, dickish or, like, more of kind of an a-hole, that's how they be. But I think there is a way around that, and I don't think it takes away from it too much, personally. But, I don't know. Matt, what do you think?
I agree. And, I mean, I would say it's a game like this where you can choose, one protagonist or the other. You say, oh, well, then, which one's canon, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's kind of unique. Like, to you, Cassandra's canon, and to me, Alexio's canon.
Yeah. Which I can understand, but, like...
it's like I'd compare it to, like...
That also feeds into my other... a huge gripe I've had with Assassin's Creed since 4 is the fact that they just don't really seem to care about the present-day story. So, I mean, I guess as much as you guys know, what is the present-day story? What is Layla Hassan doing?
So, they're trying to find... the spear,
precursor artifacts.
They're trying to find
first
the rest of the. Or they had the spear. They're trying to find.
Yeah, they found the spear of Leonidas. That's the thing. I don't know. And you know what? To your point, I am annoyed too. I want them to focus on the main day campaign storylines more, and like I'd like to know more about that.
I think I've only been in the real world.
I just got out of it again before I came over here.
Then once. I've only been in the real world once. You go around. I thought it was pretty cool. You see like other. I wouldn't call them assassins, but you see other...
they're part of the assassins. I assume... Yeah, they're assassins, but they might not... Yeah.
You see the guy from Japan, which probably hints that there might be a Japan...
Oh, really?
That's the one...
Like, in modern day?
Yeah, so he's actually, like, on the lookout. He's there
you
with
hear
you.
him...
So he's just an assassin who's Japanese?
Emails from him, and, like, the emails say, like, oh, what happened in Japan or something like that. The emails talk about his previous...
So do they ever allude to, like, what's going on within the world now? Because it still always seems like... I mean, I know in Origins they talked a lot about the Assassin's Creed movie and Alan Riken being killed and stuff, but they besides that and like that one facility that Sophia Riken was running, like they don't really allude to like what the fuck's going on between the Templars and the Assassins. Like there just seems like the Assassins it's
Abstergo.
Yeah, and the sad part is we're in the minority on this. Most people I talk to could give
I know. It fucking sucks
about the future stuff.
Yeah,
and I don't really fault Ubisoft for going to the masses
because it's what people want.
And don't get me wrong, I do like even Black Flag. I think someone was saying they didn't like how they did the present day stuff and that. I actually enjoyed it because you can spend as much time in the real world as you want and kind of figure out the story as much as you want. So you can go through. I don't even remember her name now. That's the thing. Layla's like computer and look at all her emails of what's been going on in between the last one and like what they're doing and why they're there. And if you want to look into it and see that story is there, but do they shove it down your throats or not? I don't even want to say it like that. Do they push it on you? No.
Like
Besides these two times that I've been forced out of the Animus.
I don't even think like even in AC1 they don't really shove it down your throat. I think it's more like the mystery of like what was going on, and then like
I agree.
And then it kind of expands on more going into the future games. But yeah, it's just it's something like I'm like really bitter about, and like I kind of like be an asshole about it when I bring it up because I'm just like, it's not the Assassin's Creed I fell in love with, and that's why I didn't get Odyssey. When it first got announced, I was like 60% in. One, I'm not really a fan of Greek mythos, like I don't really like that time period. Not that really dissuaded me from getting the game, but it was going towards an RPG standpoint. It was getting more hack and slashy. It's like this game is totally changing, and a lot of people are into it, and I'm not.
I know what you're saying, but I mean, I'm someone who's played. I played every single Assassin's Creed except for Origins. I just missed it. Yeah, it must have been. I don't know why.
You just weren't there for it. Yeah.
But this feels so much like an Assassin's Creed.
That's the thing. Like
That's so what like much. Andrea says on Kind of Funny Games Daily. I'm just like, but like, does it?
It does.
Because like honestly, like in Origins, like I kind of like I felt like it was an Assassin's Creed game and it wasn't. And another big thing is the fact that we don't have a hidden blade, a like staple weapon of the game. As a fan, fucking annoys me.
When was which game did we find the origin of the hidden blade?
We
don't. They never really.
Don't?
They just keep telling us it's. They keep saying it's an ancient weapon, and that's it.
So
we're actually getting
Origins, it. There's
no. She comes out and says it was she. What's his name?
She got it from someone.
She gets it from someone. She said it was the blade to kill that was used to kill
Xerxes.
See, that's
Xerxes.
I don't know. For all we know, it could. Yeah,
They're gonna make the first hidden blade out of her fucking spear. They might. That would make total sense. Well, because if they're saying because that's who.
Xerxes is so in the Battle of Thermopylae.
No, I'm saying like
in the Battle of Thermopylae, Leonidas is.
Remember
Xerxes is the king of Persia.
Yeah,
is that the hidden blade?
No, that's the thing.
You don't see what he stabs him with, though.
Yeah, what I assumed is I think he makes.
Does Xerxes die in the beginning?
You don't see him die,
but he does.
He dies at the Battle of. Or is it?
Where Leonidas is the one.
He does.
But he kills him with his spear. So that leads me to think that maybe she'll create her hidden blade out of the spear at some point, but that would be tough because
would that be possible? She has it in present. It's in present day, isn't it?
Yeah. So that might have just been a retcon. I don't know. He might have used one.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, at the end of this game.
I've seen the ending. I've watched the ending out of context, and it really meant nothing to me. And I don't know the final one.
No, but was it in like ancient Greece or was it like in
present day?
Both.
Okay. I'm curious. I'd like to see.
I've seen the ending, and I was just because I was intrigued, and out of context, it didn't mean much, which to me says it's not a grand picture ending.
Mm-hmm. I think there's multiple endings too. So.
But yeah, that like all the reasons I just stated makes me fucking bitter, and that's why I didn't get it, and I don't regret it at all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But
we are getting a year off, which I find is really strange because this game is. Origins and Odyssey have both had
it was 1 year.
A lot of success.
Yeah.
Well, I was surprised.
But that's why I appreciate Ubisoft because they're like, all right, we're putting out all this. Like they got the Atlantis stuff coming out. And did you know about the first Hidden Blade thing, the storyline? Did you hear about that?
Yeah. So they have the Atlantis. They have two,
so it's the guy
DLCs, right?
The main big one is the Atlantis one, and then there's another one about the guy who wields the first Hidden Blade. So that's how we're gonna get that explained. But I don't know. I don't think that this is nearly as big as the RPG mechanics, definitely, but I don't think it's nearly as big of a departure from the old Assassin's Creed.
Do you want to talk about the RPG mechanics and maybe the romance stuff? Because I kind of want to hear about that.
So RPG wise, it's kind of like similar. I think Greg said this on one of the podcasts. It's kind of similar in the fact of you have this big picture. You're going to get from point A to point B, but how you get there is going to be different from everyone, depending on the choices you choose and stuff like that.
So you can't get them all, or can you?
Can't get all what?
All the skills, or can you?
No, I think you can. If you keep leveling up, you can get every skill.
Okay.
So
but this is like okay.
So yeah, you got more of the classic stuff. You level up. Every level you get an ability point. That ability point you spend on abilities. You have your hunter, warrior, and what was the third one?
Assassin.
Stealth. Yeah, assassin trees. And I mean, you can kind of build those up as you see fit. There is one thing that I don't know how I feel about it. I'm very in the middle. And do you know what level scaling is?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what level scaling is, it's basically, in a regular RPG, you go into zones. Each zone has a level cap or a level spacing where it's like, be level, 30 to 35 to go into this zone. But in this, as you level up, say you get past a zone and you're level 22, and there was one that started out as an island that was level 17 through 17, that will scale up 2 levels behind you every time. So it will always stay, if you're 22, that island will be 20 now, level 20. So, I mean, it keeps you more powerful than them, technically, but it's not like you can really go crazy, build up your level, and then go back to a lower level zone and just kick ass. I mean, you can definitely put some damage in if it's 2 levels below, but like...
I'm not crazy about that. I kind of like the idea, like, if you work hard to just become a beast in a game, when you can go back to a lower area and just fuck shit up.
I agree. I'm of 2 minds about it. That one, where it's like, this is fucked up. I just want to be able to go in there, destroy a zone after I've gotten all this high up. I don't feel like dealing with this. The other half of me is like, well, I do like that it keeps it somewhat challenging, and like I'm not just going in there and destroying. Now, what I really do feel like they should have done is made that an option. Whereas, like, you can turn off that. Like, where it's like, this is the level it's at. That island will always be that level. This area will always be that level. I just wish it wasn't forced upon me. Yeah. Really.
No, I agree.
That's the major thing. It's just interesting. I can't think of another game that I've seen that has done this.
What, level scaling?
Yeah.
I'm trying to Guild Wars 2 does it with like a lot of. It's like an MMO thing.
Yeah.
Generally, it's not in like too many single player games that I can think of, but a lot of MMOs kind of do that now.
And I was saying something like online. It was like this is very grindy and like to get up to the thing.
I was gonna ask you about that. I've heard the grind gets pretty real.
I don't think it. If you're enjoying the game and playing it the way it's supposed to be played, you're gonna have no problem being at the level you should be at.
So essentially, if you're trying to blitz through the story, that's where you have.
That's
issues.
where you're gonna have trouble. Yeah, okay. And I mean, but
you still get a decent amount of XP reward
through the RPG. Yeah, but I mean that is the nature of an RPG. Like, try and go blitz through Witcher just by doing the main story. I think that's gonna be pretty tough.
Yeah, and another thing, like RPG wise, I guess, like how I really enjoyed how. You could, there's one weapon that you really enjoyed, that you really liked, you could level that up,
upgrade it,
the entire
and stuff like that.
I agree. With I was really, really impressed with the amount of different armor you had, the amount of different weapons there were,
and it all looks really good.
Yeah,
like
it all looks really good too.
I always run into this thing in an RPG though, where I'm like, I gotta strike that balance of, do I want to look good or do I want my stats to be good?
Fashion wars.
It's rough, man.
It's fashion. It's all about the fashion.
So tough. It is. That's why I'm like.
So like, and that's
Spider-Man was great because you could throw on any.
And it didn't matter.
So true. Yeah.
And that was another gripe with Origins or Odyssey I had. Like we're Spartans, so in my head instantly means Spartans aren't stealthy; they're warriors. And like even the
but
main
you're not a Spartan; you're a mercenary.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're from
Sparta.
You're from Sparta,
but you're not
technically a Spartan.
You're not a Spartan warrior. Sorry, yeah, you're a Spartan, but you're not like a Spartan warrior. You're just a mercenary. That's
but their cultures.
No, yeah, but you're
you're
thrown out of there like when you're what, 5 or 6? How old is she?
However you are when you get thrown off the cliff.
No older than 8. So I mean, the stealth I think in this game is and Origins have had the best stealth in the entire series, in my opinion. I really do think that. Like, I don't even know, like, it's not even comparable to the other
I have a grin on my face.
No, I know.
I'm just saying, because people can't see me.
It's awesome. Like, there's nothing more satisfying than me going through and ghosting a goddamn fortress, and no alarms go off, and I just take it. The one thing that does annoy me, though, is when I'm trying to go after the captain, and I can't one-hit assassinate him. Or, like, what I'll have to do is I'll take out my arrow.
Like in Origins.
I'll shoot him twice or something, get him down, and then he's searching for me, and then I'll come back around and assassinate him or something.
And I feel like, actually, going back to what I was saying, the Spartan helm and the fact that you have the choice between the hood and helm is cool, but the hood, man, it's Assassin's Creed. It's a staple. It's weird that I really like grounded in the past of this series, and like I like my like stereotypical looking assassins. And that's just the look.
That's the consolation of how far back we've gone. And people say like the assassins aren't even a thing yet. And it's not at least so far. It's not connecting directly like to the Assassin's Order yet or anything in that way. Mm-hmm. So it's connecting to the main ideas, like the first civilization and like. The Cult of Cosmos, like...
Are they the Templars?
They're, I think, the precursor to the Templars.
See, and that's what I liked. I like that in Origins that kind of, like, alluded to that, but... And I think another thing that kind of bugs me is we're getting away from, like, the main crux of, like, the Templar and Assassins. It feels, like, really less involved about them when, at the beginning, the whole point of the game was the war between these two factions throughout time.
I get what you're saying, but it's still the war of those ideas. It may not have the label of assassin and Templar on it, but it's still that dichotomy of freedom of what the fuck am I?
Speech?
No, not freedom of speech. Like your
choice.
Yes, freedom of choice. I can't remember. Like having free will. That's the fucking word I'm looking for. And not being sheep and not being led by this one person. And
I get that. I really just think.
I also get where you're coming from.
There's so many. I think it's like I wouldn't be bitter about it if it was the only thing, but it's all these things like kind of building, and I get bitter about them all.
I hear
and it kind of sucks, but like I hear it's a good game, and mechanically at least, I really don't hear anyone talk about the story. The
story's really cool so far.
That's what I hear. It's cool, but I really.
No, I mean I really like how they've kind of interwoven these different kind of Greek. Myths and things like that, and how they they explore on different ideas. I like that it's gone more towards the fantastical in a lot of ways, because it's not technically fantastical. It's like first civilization stuff. Like, we're getting more into that type of information, which I really like. But I don't know. What do you think?
No, yeah. I mean, I agree. They had to, if they just put out like an Assassin's Creed game like
every year they used to anyways.
Like they used to, and
but we're missing 2 years.
Now
the year that we did before Origins, and now this coming year.
They did take a year off in between the first Assassin's Creed and
the
second one, right?
Well,
that's
true.
I'm just
that's before it was annualized,
exactly.
but yeah,
but
you're
if
right.
We got like another like hold circle to parry the whole time, and then
I really do think like fighting wise and just movement wise, like this is the best we've ever gotten in I know you're saying it's hack and slashy.
So like, what from Origins has improved with it?
I think the free running is still great.
Is it the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically, you hold A to go up, you hold B to go down, but you're just running at all times. I do, like, something playing Red Dead that has made me miss in games. They don't let you walk. Whenever you push the stick forward...
In AC1, you walked.
No, I know. Yeah, no, they got rid of the... Exactly. That's what I'm trying to bring up. Even it wasn't until Origins until they got rid of the trigger to run.
Yeah, you're right.
And then... I do, like, I love just walking through a city or something and just checking it out. And, like, I do think that Ubisoft does a great job of making me feel like this world is alive and lived in. Not maybe to the degree of, like, something like in Red Dead, but even I think it's pretty up there and pretty interesting. And, like, sure, you're going to get the repeat monologue from someone or whatever, but, like, just walking around and, like, watching a market during the day or so, it's cool. It's really interesting to look at and just kind of sit in and experience.
Can you speak to the romances and stuff? Because from what I've seen, it seems like pretty like you just try to fuck people.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't think they were. I think that's just more like. I kind of like that they didn't focus in on that so much. Of like, yeah, just.
It's still kind of like goofy. Like I don't know.
There was like one that like I had to work hard.
Was it the hunter chick?
No, not her, but I know her to take down like a couple legendary animals. Yeah. No, it was the woman who is a descendant of. You meet her on...
it sounds familiar. Yeah.
She's descendant of, God, like Alexander or something like that.
Alexander the Great?
Yeah,
of Macedonia?
Like and you get Alexander's wife's, like, whatever it is.
Headdress or something.
And it's like a hood.
Okay.
It's like one of the first hoods you get or something.
I think that sounds familiar to me.
But her, like, I had to help her out early on, then I met her later on in the game, had to help her dad and all this stuff, and like I kept trying to romance her. She's like, okay, not yet after this, blah, blah. And finally, I was like, all right.
Yeah, the hunter chick gave me some
So it just kind of seems just like a mechanic they put in. It's not necessarily like meaningful in any way. It's just,
no, but I mean, I don't know. Like,
well, like compare Witcher or and Mass Effect romances and like that level of stuff. Because when they said that, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, you're gonna be romancing like main characters throughout the game or like secondary characters, people that you actually have like relationships with. But yeah, it's more about fucking people.
Yeah. I can kind of get behind that though. I don't know. I like. It's just hey, have fun, free love, and all that. No, I agree. Maybe they should have put some more time in it. I guess that's not something I don't want to say not care about, but like it's not something.
But it's Assassin's Creed game. No, I don't think there should be romances.
Like one of the ones that I romanced was at the party when you first get to Athens. You go to the party, and who's there? Like Socrates is there, or whatever, and
Hippocrates and all that.
Yeah, and then there's just you go into this one room and it's like this guy, and he's having kind of like an orgy in the room.
Yeah.
And he's like a very like you can see he's like a feminine guy, super like definitely sways both ways. And you're trying to get information out of him, or he has information, and you could like ask him about the information, or you could just go in.
Be like, what's going on in there?
And join the party. So I just went in and joined, the orgy, and I came out, and I was like, now you have to give me some information. He's like, oh, of course, blah blah, and he gave me the information.
He was like, let's do it, and I'm like, fuck you, give me the information. I'm not
That's interesting. When I said no romances in Assassin's Creed, I meant just like
I guess the main like
picking. I don't care that like somebody's in love with someone else, but like the picking of it, the RPG mechanic of that is kind of weird. For that, I don't know. Again,
no, I get what you're saying. No, it makes total sense. There was one other thing.
Also, I don't think like the RPG, elements in the game are. They're not overbearing at all.
They're not that intrusive. Yeah, I mean, they're there more so than Origins, of course, but...
They're nothing like... So, you guys... You know this. I picked up Witcher. I put in maybe like 4 or 5 hours in the game. This was maybe a year ago. And,
could you please leave? No.
And I couldn't get behind it. I ended up giving it to my buddy. I was just like, there's way too much here for me. Like
some people, no, I get even like this one.
I was just like over. I was like,
I am an RPG fanatic.
But
like,
even with like, all the different like crafting and all the
I will admit, it wasn't until my second playthrough of The Witcher that I really fully understood like everything going on.
And
like
really, what do you mean?
I never used like oils and stuff, and like
really,
I rarely.
I was playing it on Death March. So.
See, like
all that stuff, and I was like,
it's so cool.
And like it's overbearing when you first see it.
Kinda, I think like Red Dead is kind of like that in a way.
Oh, it's definitely like that way.
Yeah, but it's not. Too much.
It's it goes out of its way to be immersive and like puts you like does things it doesn't have to be. We're getting so off topic,
But with Odyssey, I never felt over.
Like it was intrusive. Like it was making it bad. Even like there's like the mercenary battles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to, or at least I don't. You don't have to do them.
No.
Like they don't even. They introduce you. Yeah, I have only done a couple too. They introduce you to the mechanics. They're like, hey, it's here. If you want to do that, go for it. If you don't worry about it. It doesn't affect anything. Which. I won't say it doesn't affect anything. I don't know if it doesn't affect anything, but I feel like it could only probably affect you positively if you do it.
Yeah,
but I don't think it can negatively detract from you if you don't do them.
I did notice like it affects. If it affects, I want to say if you want to choose what side of the war.
Yeah, like Athenian
or which I don't.
The war between the city states.
Yeah,
yeah. Which
Spartan Athens.
Yeah. You have like the main storyline's kind of like your storyline. You're figuring out. You got you're looking for different people. Don't want to say too much.
Yeah,
but there's also like the outer story of the entire Greek
world and like what's going on, like the Peloponnesian Wars. I think just went on,
and the Spartans and the Athenians, whatever. And you could like, I noticed like the general in Athens, Pericles. Pericles, whatever.
I love all the names.
You could like, his house is a leader house. Yeah. And like you're like friendly with them in the game, but like if you want to, I could just like go up and just like attack that leader house, and it would hurt his, I guess like
Athens' stance and like stuff like so. Like that's you have to go into an area first if you want to weaken it. Like you go into forts, you burn supplies, you take out commanders and stuff like that, and that takes the nation power down. Mm-hmm. And there's like this little bar in the corner,
and that opens up
the conquest battles and stuff like that. So like I am curious to see how that does end up. How much, if at all, it affects the main story and stuff like that.
The first, I guess, power side you help are the Spartans.
Yeah, that's your introduction.
And then you get to Athens.
And you can kind of choose from there.
Then, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you can switch back and forth if you want.
You can.
So that's why I am very curious as to how that does affect things in the overall.
Which I don't think it does.
That's the thing. I don't think it.
Which I don't care.
No,
about.
I don't. No.
But it's like from the Assassin's Creed games, it's always been the Assassins versus the Templars, and you're going into Templar, castles or bases, and you're taking out. Rather than like, all right, I just took out some Spartans an hour later to help, Athens' cause, and an hour later I'm taking out. Mm-hmm. I'm helping the Spartans to help their cause, like
yeah. And you're a mercenary. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. You are a mercenary, and that's the idea. What do they call you? What is the thing they say?
Yeah.
It says, I didn't know if that was like, yeah.
That's like the mercenary. It's the word in Greek.
Dude, all the names and stuff, like Barnabas. Yeah. Like, I love the way Cassandra talks and like says names. I'm like, this is great. I love it.
So why did you choose Cassandra?
We always play as dudes.
Okay.
In Assassin's Creed. And I was like, and that's not even like that. I was like, I feel like, I knew most people I felt like were going to go for Alexios. Or even, not to say that, like, I don't know. I was assuming. That was so, like, Casey said he went with Alexios, and then, luckily, you went with Alexios, too, so you could be on here. Or not that you couldn't have. If we both were Cassandra, it would be fine. I just like that kind of different viewpoint of, like, how different the story would be, if at all. But no, I mean, I really like Cassandra as a character. Like, they made me feel for her. I think she's, like... I mean, she's as good as a person as you want to make her.
From what I understand, Cassandra's voice actress is the better of the two.
Yeah, that's what I
heard. From what I've heard,
Alexios was fine. You're not getting like in this game. You're not going to get outstanding.
What kind of game? Which game is that? Is that like kind of in Mass Effect? So playing male Shepard as a Paragon good is he like Mark Meer, he's the voice actor, does a better job as a Paragon than he does a Renegade. But for FemShep, it's the opposite.
Oh, really?
Jennifer Hale does a better job as the Renegade.
Okay.
It's just kind of like something fans think, I totally agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like one is worse than the other. But that's just a critique.
I chose Alexios just because all the gameplay I saw going into the game, everyone
was Alexios.
Was Cassandra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw a whole lot of Cassandra.
No, well, that does make sense.
Like,
Maybe I subconsciously chose her because that's what they were showing me all the video.
Alexios.
Yeah,
Plus,
no.
I just felt Alexios was more accurate.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like a woman. Like, I don't want to say that. Like, I don't know how it would be back in that time, but it was definitely probably be harder for a woman to be a mercenary. But then I don't know how. Like, I really don't. Like, maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to get into the
exactly. I just don't know. Like, I literally don't.
Battlefield 5.
Yeah, like
people going nuts over having a woman on the.
It is
I'm not
funny.
Saying,
no. It is
just.
Like,
I'm not like being.
It's funny. All right, guys. What about what about the machine guns that they never had back then, or something? Like, let's worry about the 1,000 other non-accurate things in it before the woman. No, it is funny.
I just went in. It's a historical game. I just felt Alexios was more historically accurate. So
I know
that's why I went with him.
No, that makes total sense. I don't know. Maybe it was me watching all the stuff, and I felt like I really liked Cassandra's just like character and stuff in the preview things. So, yeah, that is an interesting thing to think about, though. One thing I do like is the Cult of Cosmos tree.
Yeah,
I really like that. Is like how, so you have the whole tree, and it's all the different cultists, and you need to find clues to unlock who the cultist is, and then you go assassinate them. Like, they're just in the world somewhere.
Yeah. And I liked how, I really like this game, how you could come across storylines or different missions, like, any way you wanted.
Just,
I came across a couple cult members who, like, I didn't have any of their information unlocked. They're at a base or something. I was like, I'm going to wipe them out. I wiped them out and then looted their body. It was like, cult member killed. And I was like, I had no idea who this was even a cult member.
No, that is really cool. And even, like, the way you approach certain quests. So, like, on the first island, there's one cave full of bandits, if you remember, and you go through and you come out, and then there's, like, a statue of a god, and there's the woman, like, talking to it and, like, praying. So, did you go in that way, or did you come in the other way and talk to her, like, when she was in there? Because, like, what I did is I came out through the crack, and she's praying, and you can pretend to be, like, you can, like, call back to her, like, as the god, and be like, what's wrong? And she's like, she gives you the quest. She's like, I'm out of money, and I need help. And then Cassandra goes, like, you can either say nothing, or she can go, like, the gods will bestow a promise upon you, or something, and then you go and just put money at her place. But I assume if I went into the cave from the other entrance, I would have just went in and talked to her about the quest. And that way.
Yeah.
And then even...
I think I came out and she was praying when I came out.
Yeah, so... And even, like, there are people with no quest markers on them that have quests for you. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I've ran into guys and it's like, talk. And I'm like, oh, he's like, hey, I need this thing delivered to the commander on the other side. Can you please do that? It's like, that's cool. Like, it's just a little thing.
From the way I understood it was, for side missions wise, the ones that had... was it the silver?
The gold.
Was the gold or side quest?
Exclamation part.
Yeah, they were side quests that gave you like better rewards, but there are just other ones that you can find.
Yeah, and there's also like contracts and stuff like that you can pick up. It's like kill or destroy 5 Spartan boats or something like that. Ship combat. How do you like it?
I've never really been a fan of ship combat. I've never been a fan of it. I just like even in Black Flag. I remember my first playthrough, I put the game down for like a few months because I couldn't get through one part of the story because I didn't upgrade my ship enough.
That was so annoying at the time when you get to a thing and it was like
4 or 3.
In 4. When you'd get to like a certain
I know what
point,
you're talking
and it would
about.
say you should upgrade your ship before this mission.
And I'm like, because I've never been a fan of the ship combat. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was.
So you could take it or leave it.
I thought it was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually really liked this. It
I
took me a little bit.
Some people love it. Some
No. Yeah, it's funny actually. Like, there's a big sect. They're making that whole game basically based off this.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Ubisoft, right?
Yeah. But
they are the best at it.
They are. They like, and it's funny. I didn't really know. So like, you hold like the right trigger to throw javelins. I didn't realize there were different. Yeah. So like, I was figuring that out, and I do like how they don't make the ship so integral like Black Flag, where it's like upgrade your ship before you go into this mission. Like, you probably do want to upgrade your ship a little bit more when you go into heavier waters, but it's not so in your face and like overly complicated that I'm like, this is just annoying.
Yeah.
Like you have your ship menu, you can upgrade to where you get 4 first mates or whatever they are, like your assistants.
Yeah.
And then so you can recruit people too to your ship. I forgot. You can play this totally non-lethally if you really want. Not totally. But, yeah. You could try as hard as you could, because I mean,
you probably can. You probably just knock everyone out.
Yeah. So you can just play with fists
until you have to kill the
certain people. Yeah.
Certain people. Because even like the captain, like I recruit a couple like.
I've recruited some leaders, mercenaries and stuff, which have been really good.
Like leaders to my ship.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could, but I guess like certain you definitely can't recruit a cultist probably.
Oh no! See, yeah, that is interesting. So I guess you definitely have to kill them.
I've never tried, but you probably have to kill.
Yeah, no, that would make the most sense. Yeah, but I do really like that whole Cult of Cosmos tree. Like, there's a ton of people on there to assassinate, and it makes you kind of explore more. It's like there's a clue for this cultist at this place, and you
it's like so and so. One of them's like so and so owns a quarry in this area. Go help some local
to figure out more clues or something, and
citizens to get some clues on them.
Yeah, and I really think that's a cool mechanic, and I like this stuff when you walk into an area or something and kind of it's not overly done, which so many games do it. Like her kind of personal monologue, she says something. She's like, "Oh, this is," she makes a comment about her setting or something like that. But I'm trying to feel like story wise, I think we've about covered what we can, anyways, right? I'm trying to think of anything.
I mean, if you want to add any like other story elements that, because you're further than me, like I said, I don't care. Spoilers wise.
So I don't think I can get too big spoiler wise. I really like how much we are focusing on it's not a ton, but how much we're focusing on the first civilization, and you're finding these different things, and my assumption is that Cassandra is part of the first civilization bloodline, like the original bloodline.
Because you found the biological father, right?
Yes, and so he's this guy.
Who's that?
I can't remember. It's a very complicated Greek name.
Pelagios,
maybe?
In the game, you start out, like, when you have your first flashback, it's you growing up and your dad's teaching you how to fight, whatever, and then, you have a new baby sister.
Yeah, it's Cassandra.
Which
for me was
do they say
Alexios.
The name of the... Yeah, they
say the name. Yeah.
And then, Cassandra must... And I, had the idea, she probably dies. And then, the next flashback is from...
Them on the mountain.
On the mountain because the, what's it called?
Oracle.
The Oracle told them they...
made a prophecy about,
kill the baby. So, your dad, who's a Spartan...
commander.
At the time, is he the commander?
He's I think he's a soldier at least.
Yeah, and he's, making his way up in the Spartan ranks.
Yeah.
And, he has your sibling...
it's not him. There's another guy. He's standing back, holding Cassandra back.
He is.
Yeah. And then
another guy's gonna throw
Cassandra off the
cliff, and then you can't control any of this. Then the little Alexios or Cassandra, whichever character you choose, runs and says no and tries to stop, and then
the guy throws Alexios or Cassandra depending, and then she pushes him after. And she's like, "Fuck you!" Yeah, and I mean, he's dead. Somehow
you kill a guy.
She kills, and then the guy's and then the whole crowd's like, "She has to die. She's tainted too. She fucked up." And then your dad just kind of looks at you, or who I guess you think is your dad, and he just gives you the sign. But I actually really like the story moment. And just picks you up by the arm and holds you off the cliff for a second, and then let's go.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was good. I really, that got to me. I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. It was legit.
And then you, one of the first big story arcs in the game is you go and you find out that your dad is known as the Wolf or whatever. He's a Spartan commander.
Yeah, major one. Yeah, in their army.
And so you have to help the Spartans out a little bit to get close, to get to him. You finally get to him. You have the decision. Oh, because someone sends you out to kill him.
Yeah. It's one of the cult members, actually. You don't know at that point, but...
Sends you out to kill him, and this cult member knows a lot about you for some reason. Sends you out to kill him, and you go and you confront him, and, you have the decision, blah, blah, whether you kill him or not. I spared him.
I fucking killed that fuck.
So I
threw him right off the cliff.
I spared him, and you get it, and when you spare him, he's like, he kind of reevaluates his life. He's like, I need to find a new purpose, blah, 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 and he leaves his helmet there. You take his helmet, and then you show that the coldest leader who sent you there his helmet, and he thinks that you killed him. But then
whether you did or not.
Yeah, and then you find out that
I just took
that guy wasn't your real father. I think of that moment when you confront him. I don't know, but you
I
find
can't
out
remember.
he wasn't your real father, and you're also on the lookout for your mother.
Did you find her yet?
No, never found her. But
Okay.
I was searching.
I found
for
her. Yeah.
I think I hit like 2 to 3 people.
Oh yeah, so you're right. You're pretty close to finding her. And then you find out that I don't know this guy. He's like 150 years old, and he has a staff like a precursor artifact of some sort when you see him. So I don't know, and you don't care if I tell you what?
I don't care.
A little spoiler. He's at the gate to Atlantis.
Oh, okay.
And he's talking about how we need to close off Atlantis because there's technology down there that could destroy all of the human race and
AKA First Civilization.
Exactly.
So what do you learn about the First Civilization?
And so far, you're getting glimpses and you're just seeing all these temples. You're starting to learn people
What
know
happened?
a little bit. I mean,
you learn.
I mean, you kind of do know,
right? You learn
that they were
but they lived for hundreds of years.
So there was if you go into Layla's computer, there's a whole description of each one of them, and it talks in depth about what they know about them and
Is this assassin intel or is this temp?
Okay. This current day assassin intel.
They talk about Damien.
They say the last Hercules is one of them too. Is it her? There's one at the end.
No, they talk about the one from Assassin's Creed 2.
They talk about Juno and Minerva.
Yeah.
There's a fourth one that they bring up. It's either Hercules. It's another god name, but it's this is Hermes. It's Hermes. It definitely is, and it's this is the first civilization person we know the least about, and it goes into him a little bit, but there's not much.
And they also talk about whether they were the Greek gods or the Greek gods were, or if they came before him or they were the
inspiration to the Greek.
So you kind of don't know that either, which is interesting.
Because we know the idea is they die. We kind of know how they died already, right? I thought they explained that in one of the other.
It's an apocalypse.
Yeah, it's an apocalypse, and they save a little bit of
Aido or whoever, Minerva's or Juno's, I forget which one's husband. They try to essentially save his memory or something like that.
And that's
3.
it. So they keep talking about their memories and they kind of
they try to save their consciousness.
Their consciousness exists in this digital.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough to explain, and they are getting more into it. And I think if the information's there, if you really want to deep dive into it, I think. But I just like how much we're talking about it more, and even this Atlantis reveal and all that. I was like, this is cool. This is
did you see Atlantis?
You see. It's this big blue gate, and it's this gigantic first civilization room. It's really cool, and
Can you see what Atlantis looks like?
Kinda. It's kind of obscured, but you see sea creatures swimming and stuff, it's behind this shield of some sort.
So did you have to go into the water to find it or no?
You go into this kind of first civilization temple, and you keep going down and down, and it's on one of the islands. But it's I just love the whole design of the first civilization.
Yeah.
Architecture and look, and when you go into these temples, it's cool. And I think we're getting more into the stuff that I find really interesting, at least in the past stuff with this. Barring, of course, we're not getting that current day story stuff maybe to the point of that I'd want to. But it's interesting.
It is. And the first DLC or one of them's going to be
Atlantis. So actually getting in there, I assume.
It's going to be pretty cool.
And so this is taking off for an entire year. They're releasing that stuff. They're releasing the Atlantis one and then the first Hidden Blade Wielder one.
So when they say they're taking off for a full year, that means
there's no Assassin's Creed game next year. Yeah.
2 years we're gonna get one.
Yeah.
Fine.
They're already making it, so
huge. I think there's a kudos to Ubisoft for making this game in a year.
Or I don't even think they've probably been working on it since
it's 3 years, probably.
Yeah, at least.
They have a decent team rotation going on like Call of Duty does.
It's still pretty, impressive that they're able to
at
their origins.
And it's not a poor quality game at all either. It's not it's definitely a little bit more, I don't even want to say cookie cutter, because I don't think it is. But it's definitely...
it has its flaws. It still has its classic Assassin's Creed glitches and shit.
You try and jump one way and you jump the other one off the... Did you get the mini Leap of Faith yet?
I must have, because
I don't know. I think it's
I don't know how I got it either.
I think it was just automatic a level, because it makes you can just leap of faith from anywhere. Why wouldn't you be able to do that? If you can fucking leap into a hay bale, it is cool the way your body looks lighter. That like the first time I did it, I was like, whoa, what just happened? Like it's the way she does the little swan dive, and he does it. It's cool. There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up, but I lost it.
How about did you get like any of the legendary weapons or anything like that?
Like the gold ones?
Yeah.
Or like I've gotten I got like the silver snake, or like the snake bite. I like this. What's your favorite weapon type?
Staff.
I love it. Oh, you like a staff? I'm a spear guy.
I think the staffs are badass.
I haven't tried the staff yet.
So with the staffs, you know how you get like the 200 hex coins or whatever?
Yeah.
When you start the game, I bought the Torch of Olympus with it. After I realized that how much I enjoyed playing with staffs. Like I kind of tried all of them. Never been a heavy weapon fan.
I haven't. It's too slow.
It's too slow.
Yeah, you get fucked.
But I do have the Hammer of Jason that I think like level 20.
Jason Bourne.
Oh my god, it's Jason Bourne.
The Hammer of Jason, which is a legendary weapon. And I got that like I saw a video online where you could get it.
Yeah.
And it's like a level. It was like when I went in, I got it. Maybe I was level like 18. I was level like 20 something area. I just snuck in, just like didn't kill anybody because I knew I couldn't even like stealth
fuck with
kill
anyone.
like, even the lower level people. Just went in, found the legendary chest, and then booked it. Then eventually I was able to use it, which is it's all right. Like you said, heavy weapons aren't a fan, but I love the staffs in that game.
Yeah, I'm all about the spears. I really love a spear, and I like the sword too, a lot. I gotta give the staff a go. I really haven't played around with it yet.
It's just really like satisfying.
Yeah,
the best way to put it. Taking out people's staffs.
I like it. I had one other point I wanted to hit, but it's escaping me, and I don't know what it is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want to cover.
I mean, they have like when it comes,
that's what it was.
Like the abilities, like you can choose whether you can go like poison your weapon or
Oh yeah. So you have all your different abilities, and like there's one thing that confused me at first was when you hold left trigger, you have your special abilities, and that's when you get like your Spartan kicks and like your certain type of moves, and I love that fucking Spartan kick.
Spartan kick's great.
It's so good. I love just kicking fuckers off a big cliff.
Yeah, there were a couple moments in the game when like I was trying to go stealth in a certain area and I got caught, and I was like towards a cliff,
and you're like,
all these people just like kind of just like one by one
just kick.
I would just turn, just wait for them to get there and just Spartan kick them off.
Douche.
And I had to go down and loot all their bodies, but like
I thought it was an interesting choice to get rid of the two different bow types, and like instead you just have your certain skills. Yeah. So like you always just use one bow, but you unlock like the hunter. Remember there was the hunter bow where you'd like follow the arrow, so that's like an ability. Like so you press B and then it opens that up, and that's the type of arrow you.
That's kind of a cooler idea.
I think it works.
It works a little
bit better.
It kind of like.
It condenses down the menu.
It condenses that shit down because I thought all the bow types were like
a little,
yeah.
Like and that's so yeah. You also can get like a spread ability where you pull out like the 3 arrows and fire them at once and stuff like that. So you still have all those types of arrows. It's just not set up the exact same way. But what I did want to get into is what would you like to see setting wise for the next one? Since we're taking a year off, Dream doesn't matter if we think they're gonna do it or not. Dream setting, hit it with me.
I mean, a dream set I've been saying for a while was something which they're doing. Is like I thought like if they go off the deep end, do something like Atlantis, which would be crazy. Like I've always wanted
something really interesting,
like
different.
That,
like, yeah,
which they're doing, which is really cool. I mean, the easy answer is Japan.
You were literally reading my mind.
That's everyone. That's
just what they got.
They've been asking that since AC2, and they've already said they're not going to do it for some reason.
Yeah, but they said they weren't going to do Egypt.
Nah.
They back when they said they were like, no, we have no plans for these, and then
they're
we got
Egypt. So
what?
They already.
Well, have you seen the Assassin's Creed like animated short called Embers?
Yeah.
There's a Chinese assassin who goes to Ezio and looking for the box, which actually Adewale has in.
Well, yeah, and
4.
I think
they allude to that stuff.
Like the PSP games. Or something
well, yeah, no, like the 2D one. But
and you know when it's gonna come out when Ghost of Tsushima comes out. Like stupid Ubisoft.
Ghost of Tsushima and also what's Miyazaki's new one?
Is Ghost that comes out?
Shikiro Shadows Die Twice.
Yeah.
Wait, Ghost of Tsushima, does that come out in 2019 or 2020?
I thought it was,
it's not. It's not 2019.
We didn't put a release date.
No.
Did that?
Nope.
That game looks unbelievable.
looks really cool. That's
it does.
But like I do want
looks
that.
Really cool.
And
I'm not really into. As much as I like modern Japanese things, I don't like feudal Japan.
I think it's so. I just love the idea of you being a literal ninja.
Well, I grew up playing like the Dynasty Warriors games.
Yeah, for some reason I'm not into it.
It's Chinese though, Dynasty Warriors. But it's
Asian. We'll generalize it. There is a big difference. But I think Dynasty Warriors is Chinese.
Yeah, kind of like the ancient Asia.
Yeah, that style.
That would be really cool.
It was really cool.
I would love to see them revisit Middle Ages, like Assassin's Creed 1, Terror. Like
yes,
I would love to really see that.
I can get behind that too. Honestly,
like I'm trying to think outside the box because you're right. Japan's the number one go-to.
Egypt was my number one for a long time.
I also thought, real quick before you say yours. But then, like, kind of the new God of War kind of did it, like Vikings.
Yeah, that's what there was like some artist posted something from Ubisoft that was like it was just one of their own fan art things, but like it was rumored that it was like they were making a Viking era Assassin's Creed one. They thought they released like a concept art, but it was
like all the ship mechanic stuff and stuff they're doing. Like I would not be surprised if they did something like that because
I kind of want to say maybe. Okay, if I'm being general while I try to think of an answer, like I want to see something when the Assassins and the Templars are a thing. I don't want to go further in the past.
Back, you want to go forward.
Yeah, I want to go forward.
I don't think they can go really further back.
I think like a World War II assassin would be cool. That's something people have been asking, but again, that's introducing modern day weaponry into Assassin's Creed, which would be a little tasking. But hey, guess what? They've totally changed this game, so they can do it again.
I don't think that it's that different.
Imagine if they did something like this. Then this might be like, way. I don't know the best way to put it. I guess like I don't want to say extreme, but something very very different. It was kind of took like a Hitman mentality when like it's different episodes.
100%.
And they did something like, all right, World War II, like you're.
I see what you're saying. That's interesting.
Like, even something like along the lines of like think of like famous assassinations or like stuff like that.
No, that would be
history,
really cool.
That'd be really cool. I'm not sure that would sit well with everyone.
It's much more.
It's a cool idea,
it's a little bit like almost Dishonored style.
I think introducing silenced weaponry into Assassin's Creed, and if done right, something like Metal Gear, like could be really cool because like Metal Gear is you can play that game so stealthily, but again, you can be guns blazing if you wanted to, and that's kind of Assassin's Creed at this point. I think it's stopped becoming like really stealthy, maybe in like. Three.
Yeah. Three was so guided. They said, "Here's an assassination. Go up on this tree and assassinate him from there. Like follow this hill up to this tree and then get on that tree and then hop off this tree to assassinate that guy."
I think what makes the most sense if they're going to do anything like along the modern side is do something like World War I, where guns were first.
How would an assassin operate in like a no man's land situation?
The thing about World War I is like a lot of like majority of the soldiers still would have swords on them. Look at Lawrence of Arabia.
I don't think it's unrealistic that an assassin would have a hidden blade to kill people with. That's not weird. They carry combat knives, but then silenced pistol, explosives.
I would say
sniper.
Yeah, I'd say sniper and like a silenced pistol, and then you still have like your melee weapons and just like
throwing knives can still.
Throwing knives, totally. Just go in like the
only thing that just I'm just curious like traversal wise. Is like
Dude, France.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
You mean Europe? Yeah. I would assume. Or maybe you're going to different locations. Again, you wouldn't be going city to city, and I feel like the game would have to be more guided and linear if they did take that approach. Because there's what fucking cities in Europe are operating like normally during World War II? Like none of them, except for London. But like again, they're still getting bombed. Like. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to, but I think linear games are good, actually. I don't think open world, we have too much, Ubisoft loves their fucking open world, like, whatever they do, their schema, like, their template. I think they recycle it a little too much, and maybe making Assassin's Creed linear will be cool, like, in the way of Deus Ex is, even Witcher 2, are linear games. Like you're on a guided path, and you can only do so much within that space. Exactly. As God of War is not open world; it's linear.
And they don't like to call it linear, but like,
and that's
it is.
But it's like doesn't.
The
feel
Realm of the
linear.
Nines is
But
the most, or the
but it doesn't
Lake of the
feel
Nines.
Linear, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
they could do something like
it's
that.
along the lines of what I think is like what Tomb Raider kind of started, like the first reboot was like it's not open world, it's open world in this really linear open world, like, and even like because almost I feel like linear kind of means, at least for me, is like you go forward, you can't go backwards. That's it. Once you're at this, but once you get to the spot in the campaign, you can't travel further back. That's where you got to go. You got to keep pressing forward. Whereas like I do think that like they could take like a Dishonored approach and give me 10 levels of real like a really cool, really intricate, laid out assassination levels where I'm going through and I'm taking out this guy in any assorted way I want. Give me dude, Hitman. I
like what you're saying, but let's just not go like Thief, okay?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Thief.
Do you know this running gag?
No.
I hate Thief.
Thief, game of the year, game of the century.
Thief, like the remake. It's sitting on the shelf. It's terrible.
I don't think it's that bad. I think the
and
biggest fault,
anytime I just try to bring it up.
the biggest fault of that game is that it came out after Dishonored. If that came out before Dishonored, I think
it's literally like Dishonored. Do you know Thief's an old series?
Yeah,
but
yeah. I know Thief.
I just fuck it.
Dude, like going off that, like I think your home base could be like you could even do something where it's like before anything that's going on now, where like you're still at Abstergo and you're a new, recruit, real new person, and you're hopping in and out of animi, I guess you'd.
We get a new actual like character that's interesting and like Desmond.
How interesting was I didn't find Desmond that interesting.
I did.
He was a guy who got kidnapped. It was more the story of what happened to him that I found interesting.
He's an assassin from birth, but
I didn't find like him interesting. Like he was he was a dude.
I don't know.
I just don't think back and I'm like, who are some of my favorite video games?
Not like favorites, but like
Desmond.
Like Desmond fucking Miles.
Like, but he did.
He feeds the story.
No,
he was the reason why the story was good, and
but he also gave me one of the most like memorable gaming moments when he he has the apple of Eden. Remember late in the game and he fucking stabs what's her name?
Lucy. Oh,
that was a good. That was
and that was back in the day where I'd look for like theory videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the videos, I don't know if you remember in the DLC for Revelations or maybe 2 or
Brotherhood with the first person one.
No, you get coordinates at the end of a DLC. Like a longitude latitude coordinates, and it happens to be upstate New York where that temple where they go in 3. That's like what the coordinates were, and it's Turin, New York, which related to like the Shroud of Turin and like all this stuff. And I was like, "Fuck, man, this is deep. I love this." And like Assassin's Creed is so far from that anymore. It like I remember when I beat Assassin's Creed 1 and I walked through that room and like what were each of these symbols and what did they mean and like how did they maybe relate to the story and like oh, fucking great. I love that shit. And it's just like and even in 2 with the what was the truth?
Symbols? Yeah, the truth. You'd have to find
and you find out that like Washington had a fucking piece of Eden, and so did Napoleon, and so did Hitler, and like all these people. It was really cool to piece together building this universe.
The history through the through the view of the Templars and the assassins.
And that's I think what we're missing. We're missing the component where like the assassin and Templar war is being waged through time, okay, like it's loosely that, but like it's not. In a way.
I mean, I think
even in Origins, it still wasn't there for me.
I think I get what I just don't think it's there by name, but I do think it is there by action and what is being fought over and what the ideas that are still at war. Do I wish we got more of what you're saying? Actually, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. And
like you think about those the truth files when we found out like Clay Charismatic was subject 15?
He was the one before.
Yeah, Subject 15, and like he was still in the Animus, and we were just like, who the fuck is this guy? And then Lucy, was, like, figuring out why Lucy was killed, and then you find out she's a fucking triple agent. Yeah. Like, oh my god, like so good, and we just don't have any of that anymore. It's gone, and that ended with Desmond dying.
And to get back to like that style or that path, you'd have to go more linear. In my opinion.
Yeah, but like even AC2 was like a pretty open world game.
Yeah.
Florence, Venice, the few other cities,
but the way you did move through those cities
was linear, and that's fine.
Well, yeah, but I'm not. But like story wise has to be like there can't be Cassandra and Alexios. There has to be
one person,
character. And even like
like there's multiple endings in this game.
And I don't even think I think it is just comes back to that present day Link, and it's not there, and it sucks, and I wish it was. And I mean, I do think that they are putting enough into it now where, like, if you do want to go in there and deep dive into those theories and, like, see what's going on, it is there. Like, you can go in and check and really dive deep into it if you want.
I felt like with Origins, it was so out there.
Origins made me mad because, like,
it was just like, what the fuck is going on with these
the present day
temples?
stuff? Like, I liked the like, Bayek's ending and his whole story, and I enjoyed that thoroughly, but... They left the present. They didn't even finish up the present.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm William Miles.
William Miles shows up. I'm going to hang out for a bit. All right. And then I got out of the annex at the end. I was like, oh, what's going to happen? He's
nothing.
Standing there. I'm like, dude.
Nothing.
I'm like, dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that...
And they switched his voice actor up. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I didn't notice that. But I think that about wraps us up. But I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to ask.
I feel like I had a point I wanted to make, but it's not...
I mean, when it gets down to it, I really enjoyed the game. If I would recommend it to any Assassin's Creed fan.
I agree.
Who's played previous games, it still feels very much like an Assassin's Creed game. There are moments where I call myself just smiling because I was like, this is what I missed.
This is really cool, yeah.
And if you're an RPG fan and you aren't playing any of these other games that are out right now, I'd say pick it up.
This is a game I wish I got in the summer so bad.
What I wanted to speak to was the open world. I think moving away from open world is not a bad thing. We have too many open world games, and like just speaking to Red Dead 2 since it just came out, that open world is so much different than a open world we had. I feel like there's not these viewpoints all over the place. There's nothing in the world. But, like, exploring it has its benefits. Mm-hmm. And there is stuff out there. You just have to look for it. And but they're not just pings on the map that are fucking everywhere. That's what Assassin's Creed is. Witcher 3, one of my favorite games of all time, is like that. But I think Witcher does it better.
I think Odyssey does eliminate that a lot. Like, I'm finding quests that I just happen upon. Like, that I'm not...
So it eliminates the... outposts kind of, or like
it's
to a
not
degree?
Like, and there. Oh, I meant to actually. You just reminded me. So, did you play on the like exploration mode, or did you play on just the regular?
No, I played on the regular mode.
So I wanted if I had all the time in the world, I would have done the exploration mode. And basically, the way the exploration mode is set up is, it gives you a quest. You get a quest, and it says in the corner, "This is located in this area next to this," but it doesn't give you a quest marker on the map. You just have to explore and find it.
That's kind of tough.
It's tough and it's daunting.
It definitely sounds cool, but like at the same time,
but even like with all of it's more about you exploring it naturally than the game telling you exactly where to go at that exact time. And I think that's really cool, and it's something I would have liked to explore had I had more time. With the game,
you have like 100 hours.
Yeah, like it's true. You know, like if this was that's why I just said
might double up. That could easily like double up the timer in the game.
Yeah, and I think. As someone if someone's out there and you're only getting one game a year or like 2 games a year, this is a big media experience. You will get a lot of time out of it. If you enjoy that type of experience, I think it's definitely the game for you. And I wish we could speak more to the actual story and like how it ended and how we felt about that. But so far, story-wise, I thoroughly enjoy what they're doing and what they're touching upon.
I agree. And it's a game that you can pick up like... So look at a game like the new Call of Duty, where it's a game that you probably want to play now because everyone's online playing.
It's got that player base
now.
It's a game that like doesn't have it online, so you don't have to worry about.
You can hop in whenever you
want.
want.
This up 6 months from now, and you'd be fine. Like,
And I think that's totally fine if you do that too. Like, wait until honestly, if you don't have a lot of time right now,
wait till it goes on sale.
There are way too many games out. There's just like let's like totally switch topics. There are way too many TV shows. There's way too many movies. There's just like too much shit.
It's crazy.
There really is. Like, can we just take a year off from everything?
I know.
Can we just not have anything come out? Like, I can
this
like.
This game came out a month earlier.
Oh, what would have been?
Well, like November's got. What do we have? Fallout 76, Spyro's coming out, Battlefield 5. Not that I'm getting all these games.
Hitman 2.
When does Pokemon drop?
I don't know.
Or
actually, Ian Fitzgerald was asking me this last night. December.
December. Okay.
Only thing next month I think is Hitman. I'm trying to think what else comes out.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't.
You
know
can Spyro, right?
Oh, and Spyro.
I don't know if I'm gonna get Fallout.
I'm probably not.
Like it's. Just,
See, that's the thing where I feel like I don't know. I want to get it because I'm a Fallout fan. I'm not too bitter about the series yet.
I'm not bitter on that. I'm not.
I mean, I had issues with Fallout 4, but we've had a podcast about that.
No, Fallout. I don't know. We've talked about this, and they seem to be trying to alleviate it. Those are single player experiences for me, and that's how I like them. So I don't know. I got Hitman. I'll have Red Dead still for a while.
Mm-hmm. Red Dead Online's gonna drop in a month.
Yeah. I can't wait to get the fucking whole posse together on there. It's going to be fun. But I'll wrap this up. We can shoot the shit a little bit more, too, about Red Dead. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed our review. You can find us on YouTube. Just search Delco Nerd Network. In that search bar up there, you'll find us pop up. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network, as well as YouTube. No. As well as Instagram and Twitter at the Delco Nerds. Am I missing anything else? You can find us in audio form on iTunes and on other podcast services, Google Play, all that type of good stuff. But guys, thanks so much for watching. For Matt, I've been Trio. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Stay nerdy.